this is one of the major reasons why people get a lot of unfortunate emails, because when they are applying for jobs, they do not try to read the job description or information that they're passing along with that job that they're applying for. They don't bother reading because sometimes it's really very long. They don't want to read that whole note. Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you are just seeing this beautiful face for the first time, then it means that you are new to this channel. Welcome. Thank you for clicking on these videos. Out of thousands of videos you saw to click on, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification button, and join this family. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for your continuous love and support. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. You all are the real MVPs. Now, as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about different routes to come into the UK. People have asked me some questions, and I didn't really want to go into this whole location thing, but I promise to bring answers to your questions, and that's what I'm going to do here today. So we're going to be looking into different routes to come into the UK, and we're going to dive right into it now. According to the British government, about 612 people have moved over to the UK as at 2019. Now, I don't even want to even imagine what the number is at the time, because there has been a lot of people relocating to the UK, and there are still people relocating to the UK even as at this 2022. As a result of this economic growth, the work benefits and social factors, Great Britain has become the top destination for people wanting to relocate out of the country, and it's also being said that it's one of the easiest routes or countries to relocate to. But if you want to relocate to the UK, there are important things that you need to consider before thinking of relocating to the UK. Now, the first most important thing you need to know is that you will need a UK visa if you are going to stay longer. If you're going to stay for up to 6 months or longer in the UK, you need to know that you are going to need a UK visa. Another factor that you need to know is that there are some processes that are more complex than the others. There are so many routes, there are so many visa types to use to come into the UK, but you need to know that amongst these visa types, there are some that are more complex than the others, there are some that are easier than the others, and there are some that are more difficult than the others. And it's been said that the work visa is the easiest visa that you can use to come into the UK. But even with this easiest route, there are some qualifying criteria that you need to meet before you can have this visa. And we're going to be looking at some of these qualifying criteria. The first one is that you need to find an employment. And now, after finding an employment, there are different kinds of visas for different employment routes. So you need to make sure that you have the correct visa route for the employment that you have. And once you've gotten the correct visa type that you need, the next thing you need to do is apply for the visa. And after you've applied for the visa and you've gotten your visa successfully, the next process will be finally to move into the UK. And after you've moved into the UK, the next thing you would want to start working or thinking about is getting an ILR, which is also an indefinite leave to remain, which will entail you getting a permanent residency in the UK. Now, let's talk about finding an employment in the UK. So, the first thing you want to do is apply for jobs depending on the kind of job you want to come and do in the UK. It could be a job in the medical line, it could be an engineering field, or anything at all. So you have to make sure that you're seeking for the right employment from the right source. And after you have gotten a job, you need to make sure that if you are going for something that is sponsorship based, because there are some jobs, so people that are not really bent on getting a job that is sponsorship based, they want to sponsor themselves, so they're not keen on that. But if you want to go for a job that is sponsorship based, you need to make sure that that job you're applying for is being sponsored by the employer. You have to get an employer that is ready to sponsor you for a work permit. Now, I think this is one of the major reasons why people get a lot of unfortunate emails, because when they're applying for jobs, they do not try to read the job description or information that they're passing along with that job that they're applying for. They don't bother reading because sometimes it's really very long. they don't want to read that whole note, and they end up applying for these jobs only to get unfortunate emails. And when you make inquiries, when you look into it, I've had some people come to me, and when I looked into the applications for them, I saw that they applied for these jobs and they had nothing to do with being sponsored. They were not sponsoring people. They were already, that job was for, people that are already in the UK, but they didn't read, so they went to apply for the job and then discovered that, they got unfortunate emails because they are not sponsoring people internationally. So this is one thing you have to really put into consideration, and this applies to so many jobs, different jobs, not just when it comes to like the health field in particular. Second one is to find the correct visa type. Now, depending on your skill set and the kind of work that you're looking for, the different types of visa that you can come through, the different kinds of immigration routes that you can follow through. And I'll just list about 3 of them, but I will not go into each of them. If you want to know more, you can ask questions in the comment box below, but I'm just going to mention them. So one of them is the innovator visa, which is also known as a startup visa. The second one is the skilled worker visa, which is also known as a tier 2 visa, which is the major one that people are really coming through. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is the international sports person visa. There are also so many others, like the spousal visa and a couple of the others. Yeah, I didn't mention the study visa as well. You see, that one too is there. Now, when you're applying for the visa, there's something you need to put into consideration. You have to make sure that the visa type you're applying for has an access to you applying for a permanent residency. I think this is one thing that most people don't really consider, because we're just trying to relocate, but we don't really make in-depth inquiries or try to get as much information as to what the long-term plan is. So you need to make sure that whatever visa type you're going for will entail you being able to apply for permanent residency in the long run. So now, once you've gotten a job and you've gotten probably a sponsorship employment, or even if it's not a sponsorship employment, you're ready to apply for your visa, the first thing you'd want to do is to gather all your documents. You make sure you have all your documents ready, because once the visa process starts, it's usually a very fast-paced process. You need to have all your documents in check and everything has to be ready. So you get your documents ready and then you start your visa application. And you would have to, once you start your online application, you would have to do the application by going to a biometrics at a visa application center, depending on whatever it's called in your country. And once you've applied, you have to wait for a decision to be made, and sometimes this decision can take between few weeks to a month. So it depends on the kind of visa you apply for. Usually the skilled worker visa takes a range of 15 working days. It will come out before the 15 days, it could come out on the 15th day. Some can take up to a month. It just depends on the visa type that you have applied for. So basically, with the whole visa thing, you need to be very, very patient. You need to have enough patience and apply patience in everything that you are doing, because sometimes it can get very tricky and it can get very frustrating. But you need to just understand, when you're applying, make sure you get information. Like I said, know what amount of time you are expecting to get your visa. It's also good to know, so that when that time has elapsed and you've not heard anything, you know when to start making inquiries, maybe from the visa application center. You know when to start making noise to know whether there's a problem or not. Once your visa is out, the next thing that you're planning for is to move to the UK. Now, when your visa is ready, the visa office would normally send you an email or a letter, a dispatch letter. Now, depending on the option you have chosen when you are doing your visa application, like I didn't have to go back to the visa application center. I paid for like an express delivery. So all they did was let me know that it was ready, and then they delivered it to my house through DHL. So yes, depending on the option you applied for or you used when you were doing your visa application, that's usually the route you use to get your visa. So you get an email or a letter telling you of your decision, and if you have had a successful visa application, your passport will come with a sticker, and this sticker is called a vignette. So that vignette is literally what signifies that you have gotten your visa to come into the UK. It gives you different information, like the visa type you applied for, the category of visa you applied for, the validity of your stay, the validity of the vignette itself, and the date that you're eligible to come into the UK as well, and so many other informations on the vignette. Now, I think this vignette has a duration of, I think, 90 days before it expires. What I'm not sure is if it applies to all visa categories, but I would like to think so. So if after 90 days you do not use that vignet, you would have to pay a certain amount of money to get another vignet on your passport. Now, once you've entered the UK, the next thing is to collect your BRP, which is also your biometric residence permit. Now, this is a small card that you have to have. It basically shows that you have the right to live and work in the UK. Now, before you come to the UK, your visa normally comes with a letter, that states that you need to collect your BRP, blah 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 blah. Now, this is the letter you're going to take to the post office to pick up your BRP. You have to have that letter. I know some people have collected that without the letter, but most times you might not be that lucky, so you need to have that letter. So always make sure that you travel alongside that letter that comes with your passport after you've gotten your decision from the visa application center as well. Now, this BRP is very, very important. When you come into the UK and you collect your BRP, I do not advise that you carry this around with you because you might not always need it. The best thing you can do is to scan the BRP, the front and the back of the BRP, with your phone, with a scanner, to have it just in case you need to show it, for any reason when you're out there, right? But you have to know that there are some cases where you would need to have a physical card, that's a physical BRP. There are places that if you're going to, they'll need to see a proof of your ID, so you need to have the physical card on you because they would like to see it. And in cases where you need to buy some items such as sharp objects like a knife from a store, or it could even be alcohol, you have to have the physical card. If not, you will not be able to purchase the alcohol because they need to make sure that you are of the right age and you are legally supposed to be in the UK to purchase such equipment or instrument or whatever. So yes, there are some cases that apply. So you need to know at all times where you're going to and if it's needed for you to bring the physical card around or not. If not, I don't advise you carry it up and down because it's a very important document for you to use in the UK. After you've gotten your work started in the UK, you've gotten your BRP, you've gotten everything, you're way settled, and you've stayed in the UK for about 5 years, I've been permanently in the UK for 5 years, you have the right to apply for an indefinite leave to remain, which is also called an ILR. So what this ILR does is it basically allows you live and work in the UK without any form of restrictions or limitations, because when you come into the UK with some type of visas, like the work visa for instance, there are so many limitations even on the number of hours you're supposed to work, the extra work you're going to take, the amount of hours you're supposed to work. There are limitations to all these things. You have restrictions here and there, but once you have your ILR, you are free of restrictions or any kind of limitations at all. And with the ILR, if you qualify, you can apply for citizenship to be a British citizen. And I feel like this is one of the things that people really aim for, getting to that point where you become British citizen, or they call them the Brits.
Will you keep quiet?
So people really want to get to that point. So yes, you have to go through a series of processes. It's a very long time, but time flies. See me now, I'm almost 1 year in the UK and I can't even believe it. I just came in like yesterday. So time flies. You just need to start from a particular point to get to another point. So these things are gradual, but you need to always have the right information to get to the right place. So you do not, somewhere you're supposed to take 5 years to get to, you will not take 10 years to get there because of poor information. So always take our time to clarify during your process of applications. I think you can also get an ILR if you have a Turkish work visa or you have a Turkish business person visa also. So like I said, there are so many routes, there are so many visa types which you can use to come into the UK. You just need proper information. You just need to always have the right information, and you need to be very determined and hardworking. There are so many people that find it hard to even source for information, to even open ordinary Google to get a clarification on something. They're so lazy. I'll use the word lazy. They're lazy to source for information. They would rather someone does the whole work for them while they just sit back and relax. And that's not the right way to go. What this will just make you do is go through a process of 5 years for 10 years. right? Because you're not getting information for yourself, you're leaving it for someone else to do, and there's no one that can do it better than you yourself that is trying to get that thing. So always, even if people are helping you by the side, always make sure that you are abreast of what's going on, informations and all the routes, different options that you have. There are people that come into the UK for schooling, registered nurses. They don't know that they can actually come directly to work, right? So now they go through the process of schooling, getting an extra added top-up course, and at the end of the day, when they are done with the 1 year or 2 years program, they now find out that, oh, they could have actually just come directly through working. Now, if you want to come through schooling, it's a different thing. If you want to do your master before you start working, it's different. But then there are people that do not even know. They wanted to come through working in the UK, but because of lack of information, they had to go through schooling. Then after that, they now did all the registrations and stuff and became registered nurses to work in the UK. So you see the point. So information is key, information is important. Now, if you want more information or there are specific questions you need to ask, because this whole visa thing is a very broad topic and we can't cover everything in one video. So if you have questions or you want more information on something in particular, let me know in the comment section below. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, press the subscribe button, turn on the post notification button as well, so that when I put up similar content that interest you, you'll be the first to know as well. And also do not forget to like this video, because the more you like, the more YouTube publishes this video to more people that will want to see similar content as well. And also share to your friends that might need information, even if it does not apply to you. There are others that may need information as well, so do well to share as well. And subscribe, like I said, subscribe. Let's grow this family, guys. Thank you so much for watching to this point. On to my next video. I will see you guys soon. Until then, stay safe, do your bits, take care of yourself, and remain healthy. Love you all. Mwah.